Hello, welcome to A Life Without Parole. Chad Daybell is well underway now, and there are new things that we're finding out. And I wanted to take a deep dive into a couple of things that we learned from testimony that was given during the trial, specifically about his daughter, Emma. And I find it really interesting. My brain is going all over the place with whether or not if the children believe their father, and if so, why, when there's so much evidence out there. And I want to specifically go over the video that was shown in court while Chad was sitting in a police car and Emma came and talked to him before he was arrested. He was handcuffed and put in a car, but he wasn't actually arrested. And I think that we learn a lot from the things that were recorded on that video. Now, most likely Chad and Emma did not know the video was being recorded. And so we have some different insights, and that's what I want to take a deep dive in today. So let's get started. First of all, I find it interesting, and I'm going to show you the video, but first I want to talk about it a little bit. I find it interesting that as soon as the attorney let it be known what he was going to be showing next, there was a little bit of a glitch and it wasn't working for a minute. And so while he was fixing that, there was some body language on Chad's part that I thought was very interesting. Now, Chad has done a really, really good job of staying poker faced and not reacting to anything. But this was one of the biggest reactions that we have seen so far in this trial. And so I want to show you that. It's interesting because he knew what was coming. They've seen, he gets the chance to see the evidence before it's played out. So he knows what's coming. And it's interesting. I zoomed in on Chad so you can watch his body language as this glitch is happening.
I may have just a moment. I'm just having a small tech issue.
As I said before, Chad's done really well to keep a poker face, but when he found out what video was coming up next, he had some things to say to John Pryor. Now, this doesn't mean anything necessarily, but it's just an interesting part. I mean, my guess is he's letting out a little nervous energy before he has to sit stone cold again.
Down and then they came back.
Ron,
Ron?
just concerning the car,
Huh?
I know they,
Yes.
okay,
What's that?
just about the car.
Oh, we'll take care of the car. We're gonna take
Is
it.
she able
and then
to
we'll-
get it?
Yeah, you can get that.
One thing that I find really interesting is the way that Emma is reacting. Now, obviously, any daughter would be upset if their father is getting arrested. And of course, she is. She's very upset. But I find it interesting that we find out what she knows and how she's reacting based on what she knows. In the video, you see that she knew that bodies were found on the property when she was talking to her father. So I don't know. For me personally, I just think if I knew that bodies were found on the property, even if I believed my father to be innocent, I would be like, how did that happen? What do you think is going on? Did Lori do, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be talking about, what can I, where should I move? I just don't think I would. But anyway, that's one thing. The other thing that we find out from this video is that at least at this point, Emma was liking Lori. And she even talks about how she calls Lori while she's in jail and has interaction. So later on, when she does her interview with 48 Hours, she is not liking Lori and she's throwing all the blame to Lori with the rest of her siblings. But at this point, she's still liking Lori. So that's a little interesting tidbit. I also find it interesting that they're discussing about Emma was living in a house kitty corner from the Daybell's property, and her landlord had called. So obviously she's renting that property. But her dad is saying that she and her husband and their baby can move into his house because he's not coming back. That's an interesting little tidbit. They both know he's not coming back. And So, they talk that through. He's talking about money that he has, and then she even says things like, I'm not even going to tell Joe about the money, meaning her husband. So obviously, Emma is used to keeping secrets from her husband with her father. And that made me trigger a little thought in my mind. What if Emma knows more than what we ever thought before? And what if she's a believer? I'm going to talk about that towards the end. And we'll dissect that more. But I'm just thinking, never before did I think, oh, maybe she believes all this, the whole zombie stuff and all of the things. Maybe she's in the inner circle and we just don't know it. This is a question. And again, I'm gonna talk about that more. So let me not get off track here for a minute. What's interesting too is Garth and his wife were living in the house at the time that Chad was arrested. Garth moved out, Emma moved in. What was the reasoning behind that? Did Chad trust Emma more? We don't know the dynamics of that. We just know that that's what happened within a couple of days. As soon as the house was released, Garth moved out, Emma moved in. So Emma seems to be the favorite child. And there's another thing that makes me think that Emma's the favorite child because Chad wrote a book and he titled it with Emma's name. That was previous. And I wonder if that's part of the conditioning and brainwashing and whatever that Chad, as a cult leader, had been doing to his own children, paving the way for them to believe and to follow and all of that. I find it so interesting that she's upset because she knows her dad is leaving and he's not coming back. Why, again, why wouldn't you be questioning then? Why would he not be coming back unless he did things? I mean, that seems like common sense to me. One thing we know is when Emma is talking to Chad, her dad, she thinks he's already arrested because she said she called her other brothers to let him know that he was arrested. She didn't understand that he was just detained, not arrested. So in her mind, he's already arrested and he's going away. But again, if you were his daughter and you thought he was innocent, I just think the dialogue would be different. You'd be saying things like, well, as soon as they prove you innocent, then you'll be back and then you can handle all this. This won't be my house, or I don't know. That's an interesting piece. And again, at this point, Emma is not throwing blame to Lori because Chad is saying, make sure you keep on giving money to Lori so she can get her little treats, her Jolly Ranchers, because she's got to do her makeup and whatnot while she's in jail. And she said, of course I will. Yes, yes, I'll keep that money going for Lori. I don't know. It's very interesting. I was thinking about it. If I was if I just found out that bodies were being recovered on a property, whether it was my father's or anyone else's, would I want to move in with a baby and my husband? Absolutely not. Weird. Weird. Why would you move into the property where bodies were found? And I cannot comprehend it. I cannot comprehend it. Again, I talked about this in my previous video, but when I went to Lori's trial, her sentencing, and many of us that were at the sentencing went out to the property. And let's just say this, Emma and her husband were not happy. People were driving by and they would pretend to be they would video people to try to get you to go away. I mean, there's not a whole lot they can do. You have a right to drive by property, but they were hostile. That's that's the word I would use. They were not happy with anybody. And I just think, then why would you live there? Why would you live there? And why wouldn't you be sorry that children were found? I mean, in her video, she shows with her interview with 48 Hours, she does appear to be sorry about the children, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. I was starting to think about this now that I've seen this, and I was thinking, is it possible that Emma is in the full cult? She knows all the things and she's a believer. If you're a believer that the children were zombies and they needed to die and all the things that Lori and Chad are claiming, it's the only way you could possibly be okay, I guess. I don't know. I can't think of any other way. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Vote below. I'm going to give you two options. One, that the psychology behind when one parent gets murdered by another parent and the children just really love the other parent and they don't want to think that they possibly could have done it. And that's the reason why Emma is believing her father. Or the second one is that she believes in the cult. The whole, like, she's a full believer in the whole thing that people are zombies and they have to be killed and there's multiple lives and all of the other rhetoric that Chad was preaching, that she is a full believer. And that's why she's accepting of all these things. Apparently, she's going to be one of the witnesses. So we're going to learn more, but this is just a little sneak peek of what it could possibly be. I'm actually going to throw in a third option, and that is that she just is decided to love her father no matter what. So, yeah, vote below. 1, 2, or 3. 1, believer. 2, blames Lori, or 3, loves her father no matter what. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this. I mean, there has been a lot of people that have died in Lori's circle. And if Emma is blaming Lori for everything, she might have an argument. And I don't know. I'm torn on that, and I'll explain why. But I will say this. I think that John Pryor is doing a good job so far of casting doubt on each of the witnesses. And it could get a little tricky to convict Chad if things keep going this way. I hope not, but it's possible. Okay, so let's talk about this. If Emma is just throwing all the blame at Lori, this is the argument that I have for that. And that is, there were people in Lori's realm that died before she met Chad. And they were kind of a little bit on the mysterious side. Let's just say that. Her own sister died years ago. The only person that was with her was her brother, Alex. Did Lori have anything to do with it? Was it a medical reason or was there foul play? I mean, there's no way we're going to know now. I think that based on all the serial killings that have happened since that she's been convicted of, you can't help but go back and think, what about other people that died in her circle? Apparently, she and Alex did benefit from her sister's death all those years ago by racking up her credit cards. And I don't know, sometimes sociopaths, serial killers will just murder to murder, just to kind of learn how to do it. And I am not saying that she murdered Stacy, but I will say there's been a lot of speculation that there could have been some crazy stuff going on there. The second one, of course, is her third husband, Joe Ryan, who died of, it was called a heart attack. But we do know that her brother had attempted to, he'd spent time in jail for trying to get Ryan killed before. And I just think it's possible that they set that whole thing up. There's quite a bit coming out now that may have been a murder as well. And then he, of course, was cremated. What's interesting is the people that have died, including Alex, that have died of heart issues. I've investigated and I found out that there is a malachite substance that can be put in pills or whatever that can make it look like a heart attack. And we do know that Lori bought some malachite rings and that kind of was her thing. I don't know. This is going clear off into conspiracy, not provable stuff, but makes you wonder. These two died mysteriously before Lori even met Chad. Now, let's figure out the timeline when Chad and Lori met And how many people died after those two met? Chad and Lori met October 26, 2018. He told her that they had been married in lives previous, and so on and so forth. And the cult teachings began, which were a breakoff from both of their religions, and they started their own type of beliefs, which now eventually they titled their new church the Church of the Firstborn. Soon after they started their cult beliefs, Lori's fourth husband, Charles Fallow, dies, shot by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Then Lori's niece, Melanie's soon-to-be ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux, has an attempted murder on him. Then Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell, dies in her sleep. Now we know it's asphyxiation. Then Tylee, Lori's daughter, her son JJ, and finally Lori's brother Alex dies. I also think about the other people who testified during Lori's case that they felt like they could have been killed. One of them was Alex's wife, Zulema, who said that Chad and Lori were on the phone, and that's a whole great big story. But basically, she thought that he was supposed to kill her, and he chose not to. And then he was heart attack, yeah. And then the other one is her good friend Audrey, and she said that Lori, when she crossed her, for some reason she wasn't doing everything Lori wanted, and Lori said, "I could have you killed, chopped up, and burned and buried, just like Tylee, but I'm too tired to do it, or otherwise I would do it." I think it's possible that Lori is capable of a lot. So the fact that John Pryor is throwing Lori under the bus, yeah. But the question is this: who's to blame? Lori or Chad or both? And I have to say, Chad's the one that came up with so many of these rubrics, and the light and dark, and the dark people died. And I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, and now it just needs to be proven in court, that Chad is culpable for these things. Now, as far as his kids believe, and especially Emma, they're standing by him. If you'd like to see the entire video of Emma with her dad, keep on watching here. I have zoomed in on Chad so you can see his body language, and zoomed in on the video. It is low quality, but this is what the court has given us. At least it's better than Lori's trial when we only got audio. Go ahead and watch.
We may have to go through the car, be arrested in it,
Right.
the things we gotta do, but then
She can have her bananas and her,
I gave him
Her-
food.
we'll try to get a car before it's spoiled.
You can eat it.
so Eric, or Ron, so like my wallet, will that be able for her to pick up, or could I turn that over to her right now?
Is that in the car? Is that here?
It's right here.
That's it's up to you. I don't see. Can I look through it? Just make
Sure.
They're going to get Mark.
The police are-
No,
Oh.
second guard.
Is there anything that you're gonna need in that?
Well, she'll be running my finances, I suppose, so that has a little money on it. You could,
Okay, just so these are credit cards, so you're good if she just takes them,
yes.
correct?
In the middle drawer on the left side in Mark's room, there's about $9,000 in 2 white envelopes.
Okay.
So get that. Yeah, so we'll talk more about car payments and stuff, but you have that password.
I do.
I believe the Hawaiian,
That's this one.
First Hawaiian Bank, if you use that same password for this account, it's Chad Daybell. What else is in here? The producer there. This has nothing on it. It's like $6. That has to go away. Okay, in that same drawer, You can grab it. Is a piece of this that would fit in here, and it's got the company card, company business card. And so just make sure you get that.
And this is all in Mark's room.
Yeah, I put that in there. There's like a pamphlet with a guy who's sitting in a car. It's for the Wells Fargo auto loan.
That's the loan that they went on.
Yeah, and so that we'll talk about. So this has, if you go to Telmate, this is the card that's used.
Okay,
And so all you really do, you could probably just sign in as Chad.Daybell or start your own.
I have an account that I've been talking with Lori on
Okay. But you could use this
to
card,
add money.
yeah, and to her if needed.
Okay,
So yeah, she'll need to still have commissary money. Usually puts 30 a week in there. So, and you can probably talk to her too.
Okay.
Mhm. I'm sorry.
I love you so much.
Cooperate with them as much as you feel. I mean,
I'm stopping at 10758, Your Honor. Detective, based on your knowledge, at this point that day in the search, had law enforcement asked for any cooperation from Emma?
I can't testify to that because I don't know the extent of that.
Fair enough. Then narrowing it just to you, had you asked her to do anything or asked for any kind of cooperation from her?
No.
Thank you.
They've been kind to us today. I texted John Pryor, so he has my number. He said thank you.
okay. A lot of the company stuff that pays for the house should just auto pay still out of that company account.
Hey.
You know, I left 5,000 in there.
Here.
Okay,
If you need something, come find me.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions you have?
I think, well, it sounds like you're not gonna be out in a little
Right.
while. So I think my landlord texted me just to feel bad for me. I think I'm gonna come over here.
That's what I needed you to say, because yeah, you and Joe,
Stopping at 10904, Detective Wheeler, I just want to reiterate, we just heard that comment about he's not likely going to be out. At that point in time, you had not formally put him under arrest, is that right?
Aside from placing him in handcuffs and detaining him, no.
But you didn't advise him of potential charges or anything like that at that point?
No.
And as far as you know, had any other law enforcement advised him of any specific charges that he may be facing?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Thank you.
and whatever Mark wants to do, he should stay with either you
I'll take care of Mark. I'll take care of me. That's the card. I will, Dad.
or
They'll take care of me. We'll take care of you the best we can. Sorry to interrupt.
so keep paying the mortgage out of the company.
Okay.
No, you can probably set it up though. I'm trying to, it's Wells Fargo. In that same pamphlet, remember the password,
I'll look,
but
but I've had a lot of success with mom stuff. Just saying, will you help me? My mom died. I'm pretty sure. Will you help me? My dad's in jail. That's the same.
it should be paid through July 1st.
Okay.
And I think the car is paid through July 15th. So you shouldn't have any bills to worry about. Um, yeah, I'm not coming back. So all that stuff that's in the baby room is Lori's and mine. The suitcases you'll see in the box. Just put it in the garage, I guess, after.
Store it, see what happens.
You guys can, yeah, take that mattress from upstairs, I guess, do what you want, put the books back on the shelf. We're gonna make it through. I'm glad we could talk. I'm glad they let you come over.
I started crying and Lieutenant Ball went, do you want to talk to him? And I'm like, can I? He said, he's just over there. Like, oh, that changes things. So you probably saw us out there.
Yeah, I was watching. So, hopefully things will slow down for you guys and get left alone. And, but yeah, if they'll let you move out of there, you just get over here. You know, get guard.
Well, I
It's still feel better.
would be moving soon. That's what the spirit was telling me, but I didn't know how it. I felt like I needed to learn more,
Hmm.
and now I get it.
So yeah, this is essentially the house, and we'll talk to John Pryor about the financial arrangement, but you should be fine for a while.
I think long enough to get on our feet.
I have a lot in that account with the other attorney, so that will take care of me for a while. And maybe we just do a refinance on the house or a home equity loan.
Does it?
I don't think it's gonna break us. I think that might be an option there. I might need to authorize putting you on the
On the
mortgage.
account with you, and just probably leave Joe off it.
Yeah. Yeah, keep me on it with you. And
Do you have accounts like that when you're in jail?
I don't know.
I guess this is the part you get to that there's someone else's accounts.
Well, it's technically Spring Creek Book Company's office, so you can, we'll manage it that way and find a way.
And you have you can send things through Amazon to the jail?
Yeah.
So like, I couldn't send you a package, but Amazon, if I ordered it through there, it could get to you.
Yeah.
I'll only do that as you ask for stuff.
Lori would know the Amazon account.
I'll talk to her.
Yeah. Because I have like $265 or so in there as gift certificates. So don't pay.
Yeah, I won't.
We'll get it figured out. It's like Cholo 1105. James loves Elena at iCloud.com, I believe is the password. I don't know what they're gonna do with the computers. You could probably, it wasn't part of the search warrant.
Do you know, are they leaving the computers?
Well, they were in my bag. They were in the car.
With him.
They'll probably hold on to those and try to get them out.
Okay, but things that are currently in the house will likely be left.
I don't know what they're gonna take out.
Okay.
When we clear from here, whatever's in there.
It'll be left, okay.
I talked to them and told them the bedrooms and to not mess it up. And they didn't seem like they were gonna loom it all at all.
Okay.
But yeah, get Garth and Beth moved, and you guys come over here. It'll work out. It's all in the Lord's hands.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk. Use
You always
that cellmate. I don't know if I'm Madison or Fremont. I think they're deciding that right now. But
That's what it sounded like. Detective Ball wouldn't or Lieutenant Ball wouldn't say because he didn't know.
I'm sure Fremont has a tailmate system. So.
Well, at Fremont, when I went in to get fingerprinted to teach, I was like in there, like in the jail. I was like in my like teacher clothes, this little recent grad. So I don't know what they do.
Sorry, all the neighbors are gonna be talking, but you
They know
just,
who they are. We're okay, Dad.
well, I-
We're okay. You raised us that we're independent now with your wallet.
glad you got
We're
that
not Colby.
right. But yeah, get that money out of there. Probably just put it in your own personal account. Rather than have the cash laying around. So you need some,
I think they've been okay. Talking with her. I might not tell Joe about it either.
about the money?
Yeah,
No.
I have an account that's just in my name. I'm just gonna put it in there. Wait,
Well, Garth knows about that money.
Garth doesn't spend this frivolously, Joe.
The checkbooks are in that drawer too, if needed, but you shouldn't need them. If at some point you feel you need to clear out the Hawaii account or something, you can check my email. I have to pick that computer, but my email, that Rexburg password is pretty much
Is that
everything
okay?
for the bank or my email. Cholo 1105, but I think I switched to all of those. Yeah, I talked to Lori just for like 2 minutes. So she's aware they were searching.
Was she surprised?
She seemed bothered or disturbed. I mean, yeah, but so yeah, I'll be fine.
I don't know what they told you because I asked Lieutenant Ball, where did you find the human remains? That's what they told me, is that they found human remains. And I said, well, there are several dogs that have been buried there. And he said, respectfully, Emma, I can tell the difference of human remains. And I asked, where was it? And he said, over by the pond under that tree, that it was in the ground and had boards over it.
Okay.
But that didn't, Jason and I have walked all over there.
Yeah.
That, and I can see in your face that surprised you, that because they asked, do you want to know what he's charged for? And then they went, well, actually, we don't have it. They said, we don't want to tell you something wrong.
I don't know if they're gonna charge you for that. How they're gonna.
And so he told me that what they're looking at is that they found one body with the probable cause. There's likely two. So I asked, are you gonna search the property forever until it's found? And he said, well, no, but we're going to look. And he said, because I said, what about, this is the home for my siblings and there's a baby. And he said, if you're not able to get back in tonight, we'll hook them up with a hotel. I said, you're not in trouble.
I think they'll let them back. There's nothing in the house. They haven't.
Stopping at 1 hour, 19 minutes and 17 seconds. Detective Wheeler, at that point, to the best that you can recall, was any of the search focused inside of the house?
Not that I can recall.
So the focus, as based on your memory, was all outside of the house.
Correct.
Thank you.
Focused on the house at all.
We've kind of been looking in it in the yard.
Yeah, I mean, Mark gets back, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think we're okay coming over. We just have to have law enforcement escort us onto the scene and
Mhm. we'll make it through.
Mark deals with trauma weird that he just acts vaguely unimpressed. So I called him and said, Dad got arrested, and he said, well, I guess I should come home. Yeah, Mark, you should.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to go. Don't go yet.
I don't want to. Joe is home. He's home and he has Chase. Garth and Seth went in Garth's car to pick up Mark.
So if you can get
Another
that.
couple seconds.
Okay, okay. Yeah, just in the, let Mark use the Equinox or however you rearrange the cars. But yeah, it's all a matter of timing. It seemed to come together. But I love you.
Love you very much. Thank you for letting me speak with him.
Just, yes. Just when that cellmate, once I'm available to talk, we can talk. So, thank you. Love you.
What do you think? I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I will be keeping a close eye on all of this and keep you in the loop. And I'll see you soon. See ya.